What is up, everybody? And welcome back. Welcome back to another edition, another episode of Meat on the 50. You know what it is. It is our second episode of the week, which means it's our picks episode, which means we are picking the predictions for the games this week. Okay. All right. I'll stop talking. Let's start the show. Welcome back, everybody, and we're ready. We are ready for week 10. We are ready for the second half of the season. It is going down. Welcome back to another episode or another edition, you know what I mean, of Meat on the 50. We're breaking down all the action ahead of us for week 10. As always, joining me to break down that NFL action, one of my best friends. He's always by my side during these videos, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Super excited for this weekend. Weather's supposed to be nice, and glad to be in attendance of another NFL game. So, how about you, Jake?
I like it. Yeah, I am feeling good. We're rocking the GOAT jersey. We're repping the Niners this week. It's a prime time game for the Niners. We know that the Niners are a hit and miss during prime time, so we will definitely talk about that. But I am excited for you to check out Justin Herbert and all those guys going down there. But we're not gonna jump that far yet, okay? Don't just everybody calm down, all right? Because we got to quickly remind you how we did last week. If you haven't checked out our review episode, do us a favor, check it out. But let's quickly put it up on the screen for yourself. 8-5, 1-0 on the guaranteed victory. For myself, 8-5, 1-0 on the guaranteed victories. Absolutely dominating the guaranteed victories so far this season. Overall for the season, that puts us at, for yourself, 75, 60, and 1, 6-3 on the guaranteed victories. For myself, 79, 56, and 1, 7, 1, and 1 on the guaranteed victories. Over 500, sitting well above 500, looking nice. Let's just wipe those off the screen because we got some picks to get into. So, starting us off on Thursday, we got a rematch of a thriller just a few short weeks ago. We got the Atlanta Falcons now traveling to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. What do you got for us to start off the week?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to pick, but you know what? I'm just going to roll with Atlanta. I just think that they're overall the better team. I think that they're able to get this done here against their divisional opponent.
Yeah, I am completely with you. I'm rocking with the Falcons again. We've been on the Falcons this year. I think we like their toughness, their heart, their grit that they kind of, implement into their game. Marcus Mariota, competitor. Who would have thought, right? Raiders keeping him on the sideline all that time. But Atlanta Falcons, I think they go on the road and they handle business. I know it was a very close game. Obviously, it was the closest of games because PJ Walker with the Hail Mary touchdown. But I think the Atlanta Falcons get the job done this week. And I'm going a high-scoring game. I'm going 32-30, almost again. But I'm going Atlanta Falcons get the job done. Moving on to our Guten Tag game of the day. Yes, I'm talking about the game coming from Germany, right? We got the Seattle Seahawks waking up, saying Guten Tag to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully rallying Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you got for me on this one?
I don't even know where this game is going to be televised. So maybe just NFL Network. But here's my thing. Germany, interesting. That's kind of cool that there's a game over in Germany. Really far away. Don't know what the time zone's like. It's probably similar to London, but obviously no teams are at an advantage here. So
yeah, true.
It's going to be a close game. I'm just going to roll Tampa Bay. I can't pick Seattle, not yet. I think Tampa Bay coming off that victory, just stealing that victory at the end of against the Super Bowl champs. I think that was a big momentum boost for them. I think that they have a fun flight home. I think that Tampa Bay wins this one. I think it's a close one, but I think Tampa Bay is able to win 28-24.
All right. Well, I am going to go with Geno Russell Wilson Smith. So I'm going with Geno Smith this week and the Seattle Seahawks. They have done enough to warrant a pick. Tom Brady getting a late game touchdown victory against the Los Angeles Rams, who played horrible defense. Not sold just yet. And I will believe in the Seahawks just a smidge. I'm not going to get crazy here, but I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks handling business over in Germany. First game in Germany. I'm going Seattle Seahawks handling business in Germany, 27-20. I think it's a close game, but I do think the Seahawks end up pulling away with it. Next up, moving on to our morning games. And boy, oh boy, do we start off with a good one. Leading us off Sunday morning, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Orchard Park in Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. Both teams have been very impressive and are at the top of the food chain, top of the NFL right now. The world looking down at everybody. Two really good teams in their respected conferences. I think I'm going to give the advantage to Buffalo just due to the fact that they're coming off a tough loss, and they are going to need to bounce back to maintain their position in the division and the conference. You don't want Kansas City sneaking by you and getting that home game again.
True.
They have hosted the last 4 AFC championships. Buffalo needs to kind of flip the script on that. So I think Buffalo is able to outduel Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to pick Buffalo in this one, 31-27.
Yeah, I do love my boy Kirk, but there is too much on the line at home for the Buffalo Bills. So not only am I going with the Buffalo Bills, guaranteed victory this week. Buffalo Bills get it done at home against the Minnesota Vikings. Guaranteed victory, baby. I'm putting my trust in you, Josh. Do not let me down. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game, though. I think it's going to be like a 28. I got a 28-17. It's a little bit of a blowout at the end, but I do think that the Buffalo Bills handle business at home, and I am guaranteeing victory. Don't let me down, Buffalo. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions pulling off the upset off the Packers last week, traveling on the road to their other divisional opponent, the Chicago Bears. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, give Justin Fields some credit last week. I know that his performance is kind of overshined by the loss, but he had a really good game. It's hard for to beat Michael Vick's regular season record.
True.
That's impressive. Just to be able to help try to will your team to victory. They stayed in that game. It came down to the very end. So give him some credit. I mean, better than anyone that I wanted Justin Fields in that draft. And we let the chips fall where they may, and we'll have to see what happens with Trey, but Justin Fields is he's a competitor. So that's what I look at it. I mean, he might not have the best arm. He may not make the best decisions, but he's definitely a competitor. So I'm going to roll with Chicago. I think Chicago gets it done at home. I think they play better at home. And, I think that they're able to do just enough to beat Detroit. I think that they're a much better team than Green Bay at this point in time, just because, Justin Fields, he can take off and run, whereas Aaron Rodgers can't. So, give credit to Detroit for getting a good moral victory last week against their divisional opponent. But at this point, they're kind of dead in the water. They're not going to the playoffs. So I think the Chicago Bears are able to win this one. I'm going to pick Chicago 23-17.
Yeah, off of the performance last week by Justin Fields, I'm going with the Chicago Bears 24-20, handling business at home, getting a big division victory against a team that they normally beat, but the Lions, right? Beating the Packers, who knows? But Chicago Bears handling business at home against the Detroit Lions. Next up, we got the Denver Donkeys traveling to the Music City of Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans. What do you got for me?
Yeah, not much to say here. I think that Tennessee is able to get it done. I'm still going to roll with Denver. I know they didn't put up 9 points last week, but I'm just going to say they get 9 points. I think Tennessee is able to beat them 20-9.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. Titans, I know they struggled against Kansas City, but the Denver Donkeys are definitely a team that they can manhandle, especially Derrick Henry. So I am curious to see how they perform there. I'm curious to see another week with Malik Willis, with that first team. And they're kind of remind me of like Navy right now, where they're kind of afraid to pass the ball. So we'll see what happens with the Tennessee Titans, but Tennessee Titans handle business at home against the Denver Donkeys. Yeah, come on. We're going 9 points. They got to leave the country to score more than 9, right? So we're going 30. Just kidding. We're going 28-9. I think we got 4 touchdowns coming our way from Derrick Henry. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Kansas City. It's going to be an interesting game to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you got for me?
Yeah, not very interesting for me. I think the Kansas City Chiefs were able to win this one 35-17. Not much to say.
Yeah, off of what happened last week with Jacksonville, let's see what happens this week against Kansas City. Kansas City, looking good. Against Tennessee, they struggled, right? But Tennessee, I think it was Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, they were mentioning that Tennessee and Cincinnati, usually the only 2 teams that give Kansas City kind of troubles. They kind of usually handle business against everybody else. Jacksonville, this one's interesting because we haven't really seen them play Jacksonville in a long time. So I can't remember them playing Jacksonville in a long time. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, those receivers, going to be an interesting game, but yeah, of course, we're going Chiefs at home. We're going Chiefs at home, 35-21.
I'm going to switch it. I'm going to say guaranteed victory on this one.
Ooh.
Guaranteed victory. I was picking a different one, but I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure that they're going to handle Jacksonville at home.
Okay, I like it. We are reversing the script. Guaranteed victory for Brandon. Chiefs over the Jaguars. My guaranteed victory is already taken, but we're going Chiefs over Jaguars, 35-21, handling business at home. Next up, we got the Cleveland Dukies traveling to the Sunshine State of Florida to travel to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm definitely picking Miami here. I'm definitely feeling Miami in this matchup. I think Cleveland's kind of put up a fight for the first 8 weeks. I think that there's some games that they dropped they probably could have had, but give them some credit. I thought they were dead in the water because they didn't have a quarterback. And so I'm going to go. I do think that Miami is able to get this one. I'm going to pick Miami 28-17.
Yeah, Miami, right? I mean, coming out last week, right, kind of going ticky-tacky with the Chicago Bears, handling business, right? Every shot the Bears gave them, the Dolphins are able to reply. The Dolphins, man, they look like the real deal. The Browns, right, getting a break last week, I believe. They did not play. Coming off into their bye. Obviously, we kind of know what the Browns' game is, right? Their MO, which is Nick Chubb, right? Getting the ball down the field and running it down their throats. Are they going to be able to do that against that Miami defense? Not too sure on that, but we're going Miami here. After what we've seen so far, Tua and what he's able to do with that offense, whether his arm is obviously not that strong, a lot of underthrown balls. However, he does get the ball to the open receiver, and once you give it to Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, basically just watch out because they can take it 80 yards, 90 yards, 100 yards, 70 yards, however many yards to the end zone. So Dolphins handle business at home against the Cleveland Dukies. when Tua's in, they score. So 32-24 here. I got a big high scoring game, but I got the Miami Dolphins handling business at home. Next up, we got the Houston Texans. They haven't earned it. They may earn it. Still a long season to go, but from what I've seen so far, we got some competitors on that team. Houston Texans traveling to MetLife to take on the New York Giants. What do you got for me?
Not much to say here. I'm just going to pick New York Giants 24-16.
Yeah, I do expect it to be a competitive game. Like I was saying, Houston does compete. They are a competitive team. But, I mean, based on how the Giants have been playing this year, I fully expect them to bounce back after that loss to Seattle going into their bye. And I expect the Giants to handle business at home in a close game, because that's what Houston does. I got 24-17, but I do think that Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and company handle business at home. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints, who need a bounce-back win in the worst way, traveling to Pittsburgh, the Steel City, to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you got for me?
Do you think New Orleans is able to win this game? I'm going to pick New Orleans 27-17.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Kenny Pickett, but I mean, New Orleans, man, the pink water gun. Jameis needs to come back, because the pink water gun is not going to get it done for you. After what I saw against the Baltimore Ravens, it's just not going to happen for you. But however, with that being said, we're going Saints. We're going Saints here. We're not rocking with the Steelers. No way, no how. Even with Kenny Pickett, even with whatever they got, we are not rocking with the Steelers. So we are going New Orleans Saints, handling business 28-17 on the road. Moving on to our afternoon games, we got the newly appointed Jeff Saturday-led Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Sin City of Las Vegas to make his coaching debut against the Las Vegas Raiders. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Raiders here. I just think that there's just too much stuff going on with Indianapolis. I don't even know this whole coaching situation, and then just, the quarterbacking situation. They just look abysmal. So, I mean, the Raiders, they don't look great themselves, but I think that they're able to win at home. I'm going to pick the Raiders 31-24.
Yeah, I'm done with the Raiders. We're going Colts here, baby. Jeff Saturday gets his coaching debut victory, and I expect to hear that Matt Ryan later this week is now again the starter of the team. I expect that offensive line to play 1,000 times better. I expect the entire team to play 1,000 times better, and the Raiders, not very good, prone to blow leads, not feeling Derek Carr, and for that, and for losing to the Saints being shut out, and for losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm not rocking with you. We're going Indianapolis Colts, handling business on the road in Jeff Saturday's coaching debut. It's going to be low. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Let's be honest. I'm going 21-17, close, but the Colts get it done. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Cheesehead state of Wisconsin to take on the Green Bay Packers. What do you got for me?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say upset of the week. I think Green Bay. I think that this is a trap game for Dallas. I think Green Bay's coming off of a big loss, surprising loss. I think Dallas probably going in there with a lot of confidence, but you can't ever overlook Aaron Rodgers, especially at Lambeau Field. I know that he's had his struggles this season. But I am going to pick Green Bay in this one. I think Green Bay ultimately gets it done 27-24.
Okay. The upset of the week. Very interesting. Okay. I'm going to rock with Dallas. They've been dominating all season. The NFC East has been dominating all season. I'm rocking with the Dallas Cowboys and that defense to handle business against Aaron Rodgers. And, hey, Aaron. What's that? That would be 3-6. Holy moly. Tough year for Aaron and the Green Bay Packers. But Dallas Cowboys handle business big big 32-14, handling
And I
business.
think they are 3-6. I think they'd be 3-7.
3-7. And they haven't even had their bye, and their bye is probably after next week. Oh God, man, that would be something. That would be something. But I think it's gonna happen. So I'm going Dallas Cowboys, 32-14. Big blowout victory against the Green Bay Packers. Dallas Cowboys getting it done. And our last game of the afternoon, we got the Arizona Cardinals looking to bounce back against the Los Angeles Rams, also looking to bounce back. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, this should be, a pretty good game just because it's, two divisional opponents. But, I think that both teams are kind of struggling on the offensive side of the ball. So I think I'm going to roll with the Rams here. The Cardinals haven't done anything to impress me, neither of the Rams, but the Rams are still the defending Super Bowl champs. So I do think that they're able to squeak a win out against the Arizona Cardinals 20-17.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, I expect it to be a good divisional game as well. However, I think that the Arizona Cardinals with DeAndre Hopkins back is just way more electric. They actually score points. They've been doing it in the last 2 or 3 games, right? Putting up 34 points against Minnesota, or some 20-something points against Minnesota. And then again last week, putting up 20-something points 21 points against Seattle. They score points. They know how to score points, and they know how to get in the end zone. So I do think that once again, the Los Angeles Rams defense lets them down, and I'm going to Arizona Cardinals handling business 28-24 on the road in LA, getting a huge division victory. Moving on to our prime time game, a game that you will be at. We got the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego traveling to Santa Clara to take on the San Francisco 49ers. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I got to roll with my team, and I found out that Joey Bosa isn't playing, and I don't think Keenan Allen or Mike Williams are either, so that doesn't help the Chargers at all. It's a shame because I honestly wanted to see a premier matchup between the two Bosa brothers, and obviously I haven't seen Keenan Allen out of Berkeley, and I've always wanted to see him in person. I've never seen the Chargers play, surprisingly. I've seen, I think, almost essentially every team. I just have not seen the Chargers, and I think the Ravens, and there's a couple of others, but going to be a good game. I think that, Austin Eckler is going to get involved. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to get involved. It's going to be fun to kind of see the running back duel. I hope Deebo's plays. I know that he practiced this week. I think he's doing well. He's on track to play. So it'll be interesting to see with both of those two fully integrated into the playbook, how that works out. Yeah. Will there be some trickery? Will there be some passes from Deebo to Christian, or from Christian to Deebo? Right. Maybe. But super excited nonetheless to be able to go and see my team play. Supposed to be pretty good weather. Obviously, I have not been to Levi's Stadium this year, and I've gone every year, obviously, since it was built, except for the pandemic. So, except for 2020. So, which was out of my control. But I am going to pick the San Francisco 49ers here. I haven't picked against my team all season. That's the one where it's like every week I'm going to roll with my squad. I am picking the Niners here in a close one. I think that they win on a Robbie Gould field goal, 31-28.
Ooh, okay. All right. This game should be interesting. Excuse me. The Sparks squeaking out a victory against let's be honest, inferior competition last week. I mean, that's really what you could say. The inconsistencies in the Chargers are mind-boggling. With that being said, the non-inconsistencies, right? The consistency within the 49ers organization at this point, I think outduels the inconsistency of the Charger organization. You got CMC, you got Deebo Samuel, you got Jimmy G, who can't throw the ball 30 yards, but he can definitely throw the ball 5 yards, and that's basically really all you need. So with these weapons, anything is possible at this point. So the Niners, I think, go home because they're on bye. I guess they were home. I guess they travel. They're traveling a little bit, but they come off the bye and they handle business in prime time against the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. Come on, I'm not going to finish. I'm not going to not finish their name, right? So we got the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego dropping a game to the San Francisco 49ers. And I think it should be competitive, but yeah, I think San Francisco goes in there 28-17. And they do it. They handle business. I know primetime games for San Francisco are kind of shaky, kind of iffy. I would not be surprised if Justin Herbert looks amazing and they go off. I would not really be surprised, but I do fully expect that every single weapon that the 49ers have to be in full display on Sunday night for the world to see. So I do think that the San Francisco 49ers handle business at home on Sunday. Our last game of the week, a divisional game on Monday night. We got the Washington Dumpster Fire Commanders, although I do like Taylor Heineke, traveling to the city of brotherly love, traveling to the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, give Washington credit. They have have been putting up some fights lately, and they're still kind of in the mix in that, in the NFC race, because there's just so many teams that are just kind of middle tier as far as their record is concerned.
Sure. Yep.
So, I mean, I can't knock them at all because I didn't have any expectation for them. But I do think Philadelphia playing at home, I just think that it's going to be too much for, the Washington Commanders. And I think that they move on to 9-0, which is something I never thought I would say. But that they just look like that team right now. So I'm going to pick Philadelphia 31-17.
Yeah, I like you said, Philadelphia will probably drop a game this year. I don't think it's going to be on Monday against Washington at home. So I think Philadelphia does keep their undefeated streak going. I think they keep it alive and well. I think they put on a hell of a performance like they've been doing all season long. I got them scoring 35 points, but the Washington Commanders, how many points will they score? It's up in the air, right? But I'm gonna give them a little bit of leniency. I do think they get. I have 21 down, but when I see that number against that Philadelphia Eagles defense, that does seem like a lot of points to give up. So I'm going to retract that, and I'm going 35-14. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they handle business. I think they handle business, stay undefeated, and do what they do, and do what they've been doing all season long, which is look good on the offensive and defensive side of the ball and special teams, and just getting the job done to end our week. And that is going to do it. That is going to do it for this episode of Meat on the 50, right? As always, if you're a returning viewer, you know what I'm going to tell you. As always, Brandon and I want to thank you for taking the time, for watching our videos, for just listening to our thoughts, predictions, expectations, analysis, all that good stuff. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're a new viewer, we hope we have done enough to keep you coming back, right? So with that being said, Brandon, any last words for the people?
Oh, just excited to go to the game. Really cool jersey you're rocking there. Hopefully it brings us some luck. We're definitely going to need it after the bye week. The 49ers are to try to, stay on pace in our division, because we got a squawky bird that's, not going away. And so we gotta make sure that, all these wins, we got to make sure that we win the division, because we don't want to have to go. I mean, if we do make the playoffs, we don't want to have to go on the road for 3 games. So if that's what it comes down to, if we're able to get that far. So it's just so important, so critical to have that home playoff game. I know what it's like. You know what it's like in that atmosphere at Levi's. Yep. It's very loud. The fans, they really love their team, and, they've been, we've been really supportive. We saw how many were in Denver. So just super stoked to go back to Levi's. It's been a year. But it should be a hell of a game.
I'm excited for you. I do expect it to be a very good game. I'm excited to see some of these games, especially this week. We have a lot of good matchups, a lot of matchups that are going to be just very telling heading into week 11, right, and weeks to come. So I'm very excited for that. But We have plenty of football on the horizon. We are halfway through, and it has been a solid season so far, but we are excited for the second half, and it starts with this week. That's going to do it for this episode of Meet on the 50. He is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. I am Jacob Keller, the Fantasy Guy. And until next week, enjoy week 10, right? We're in week 10. We're on to week 10, baby. Let's get it done. Brandon and Jake are out.